Fox Soul challengers Quan LX and Big Angry Adams, ready to go blow by blow on those hot topics. Face Off on Fox Soul starts right now.
You call him a child? Did you call the child the word? It is my own business. You call him a Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again? Okay. All right, that's what you say.
In this round, here's Quan LX.
Charles, this is a case that the entire country is talking about. White woman at a playground with a child. A little 5-year-old autistic black child is there. She accuses the black child of going through her child's things and starts yelling and calling the black child the N-word over and over. A bystander is there, man also of color, and he records this white woman, and she's very bold about saying the N-word and would not apologize, very unapologetic. And then she goes on to say it again when the man says, I dare you to say it again. She says it over again 3 times. What's shocking and horrifying beyond just her conduct toward a black child, special needs child, is that Americans and those across this country, and maybe a few outside of it, raised $600,000 for her fund to support her and her family. She was not charged with a crime yet.
Well, what crime do you think she should be
Wait
charged
1 second. I'm not saying that. But that could be child abuse. But she was not charged with a crime, but raised $600,000. What does that money mean to black people? What message is being sent to black people? What it's saying to black people is that America in 2025 is no better than our fathers were back in 1965. You got that much money being raised for a white woman using such racial hate toward a 5-year-old child that says to black people, we have no friends in this country but God and ourselves. That is a message to other white people also, that whatever you do to black people, we got your back. Whatever you do to black people, to mistreat them, to violate them, even shoot them or kill them, we will raise hundreds of thousands, if not millions, to support you. What in the hell did that white woman do to deserve $600,000 being donated to her? Because white parents don't see black children like they see their own children. It ain't no way in the hell in a country like this in 2025 she should have raised $1,000, less known $600,000 for mistreating a black child.
Sometimes when I sit across the table from you, I feel like I am in the twilight zone, and this really can't be real, because just what was it, 2 weeks ago, you were applauding the Give Sin Go GoFundMe knockoff for raising a similar amount of money for an African American kid that, or a young adult, that stabbed someone else in the chest and killed them. And you were also sitting there calling the victim's twin brother a racist. You made up this lie.
I called him a liar.
No, you called him a racist.
I called him a liar and a bully.
Okay, but you also called him a racist. It's just a kid that just held his brother while he died, and you made it all up.
Who walked up bullying along with his brother.
He didn't. There's no testimony.
Walked up intimidating along with his brother.
I appreciate that you're sticking to your lie, but you're still lying. Okay, that was a murder. It was horrible, and all the people that gave money to that kid are equally disgusting. Here, this was a clearly racist scumbag woman. Anyone that's going to use, whether it's a racial pejorative or just cuss words and ugly words at a child, whether she perceived the child as autistic or not, for taking something out of a diaper bag, is a disgusting pig of a person. She's an absolute scumbag. A bad word, however, is not as evil or scummy as a murder, right? But they're both awful, right? Now, you talk about, and the Rochester, Minnesota, they've said, hey, we conducted an investigation. We've referred it to the city attorney's office for charges. This is not a criminal charges issue, right? It is somebody saying ugly things, right? It is protected against governmental reaction, under the First Amendment, the free speech clause of the First Amendment. You're free to say horrible stuff, right? It shouldn't be a crime. We don't need thought or word police, but equally, we should all be disgusted with her. We should be disgusted with her, and we should be disgusted with the people that gave her money, just like we should be disgusted by the people that applauded Carmelo Anthony. But here we are, you sit over there and you say that this is somehow indicative of all of white America because there is some scummy white Americans and probably a handful of people of color that gave her money. But it doesn't. It speaks to the individuals, much like her behavior speaks to her individually, much like Carmelo's behavior speaks to Carmelo individually, and the individuals that applauded it and then lied on it, like you, it speaks to your lack of character.
No, what it speaks to is that when the
people.
murderers of Emmett Till were charged, they raised tens of thousands for those cold-blooded killers of Emmett Till. When the murderer of Medgar Evers was arrested and captured, he raised tens of thousands of dollars in the 1960s. When the killers the beaters of Rodney King, those cops in 1992 who beat the hell out of Rodney King, they raised almost $1 million for their defense. When Michael Brown's killer right here in America, around the same time, several years back now, maybe 10 years, he raised $1 million for his defense. George Zimmerman raised over $1 million for killing Trayvon Martin. Charles, we as black people have witnessed over and over and over when some white person murders a black person, no matter the circumstances, they're raising tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars from white folks in America donating to them. And now in 2025, that video is straight up. Everybody can see that. What does it say about the progress in this nation? What does it say about the state of this nation? Carmelo Anthony, his fundraising was a reaction to all of those white people who've killed black people and raised hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars in their defense fund. His fundraising was a reaction and an outcry from black people that enough is enough. It is a sick state of America when a woman can talk like that to a child and be absolutely unapologetic, and then she had enough wherewithal, whoever talked to her, to create a FundMe page to help her with internal expenses and raise $600,000. Charles, we have not gotten better in this country, we've gotten sicker.
Yeah, the suggestion that America has not evolved on race since the 50s, you need it because it's how you make a living, right? Perpetuating this lie to America, but you're lying, right? You're not kind of lying, you're not sort of lying, you know you're lying, and you're lying. And also trying to draw a false equivalency. I love how you pick historical incidents.
From then till today. From then till today.
And make up facts.
From all the way from back then to right now today, Charles. Yes, they did.
You just make stuff up.
Even the mayor in Mississippi gave money to those white men that were charged with killing the 3 young boys who were arresting folks to vote in Mississippi.
Let's talk about today. So every time a white person kills. The problem is that I think it is it's something like 28 times when you account for not just the number, because African-American men murderers are twice as likely to murder a white person than white murderers are to murder a black person. But when you include for per capita, it's something like 30 times more likely.
Which is an outright lie.
No, it's not. It's not
and those numbers have been disputed. Even some of the black scholars from Black Enterprise analyzed those numbers and said those numbers were not true. But you sat in that same seat and you criticized the Department of Justice data when it said white men were the most dangerous men for terrorist attacks in America. You condemn those numbers and say, that's the Biden administration.
What the Biden administration did was
the numbers are good when you like who's putting them out against who you're putting them out. But when they're against white folks, you don't like the numbers.
It's always very clear when you don't want to talk about the truth because you just shout over me. Okay.
My apologies, sir. Forgive me.
We apologize for something you do all the time. The Biden administration wants to narrow down to motive, right, and say only when this mass shooting motive, and you sit over there, you say most mass shootings are white men, which is not true, right? Most mass shootings in this country, right, are perpetuated by black male criminals, and it sucks. And we have a real problem with crime, and there seems to be an incredible racial bias into who's committing crime and also who is typically the victim of crime, because black people are also overrepresented in victimization. Here, right, this is just someone that said ugly words, and then a bunch of idiots gave her money. She's a scumbag. Right? But just 2 weeks ago, you attacked the living twin brother of a victim of a homicide.
Who was a bully right along with his brother and not stand on it.
Zero
a bully
evidence
right
of that.
along with his
Of
brother
course you are,
who went
because
harassed
you're way
and
into the
threatened
lie,
an innocent young man who wasn't bothering nobody.
So,
Absolutely.
So you applaud a GoFundMe for a scumbag murderer, right? And you cry about a
Carmelo
for a
Anthony
scumbag racist.
was defending himself.
No, he absolutely was not.
But
He's
Charles,
a scumbag murderer.
this case
But hold on.
is not even
Hold
close.
on. But then
you
take
comparing this case of this white woman in Minnesota
Still interrupting me.
to what's happening with Carmelo Anthony.
Okay.
Night and day, Charles.
You're
Stop
right.
it, man.
You're right.
This
You're
is
right.
beyond sick.
You're right.
This is beyond
You're right.
sick, Charles.
I find murder to be worse than ugly
Charles,
words. But
this
the
is
most
beyond sick.
But you're right. Right? They are different because one committed murder. But here's the real
And the other
rub.
white woman committed
Here's
a crime
the real rub.
against a black
Here's
child,
the
a
real-
5-year-old black child, and
It's
raised
not a
over
crime. It's not a crime to say.
$600,000.
It is not a crime
Let me tell
to
you
say
something.
ugly words.
We as black
Right.
people got to stop wasting our time talking to white folks
We do that
because
every day.
they are going to try to convince us that everything is okay, everything is
No one
gravy,
said
baby.
that. No
They're
one
going
said
to try to
that.
convince us that America has evolved and we've grown and that we're better. Let me tell you something, brothers and sisters. This is a message being sent to all of us. And we better wake up and look at this as clear as day for what it is. America is not getting better. In the current climate in this nation based on race, America is worse now as it was in the 60s, in my opinion. And I'm worried with this type of message. I'm really worried, Charles. This message right here is now, I believe, going to inspire other hardcore racists to commit certain acts and believing that America will financially support them and take care of them. What message does this send, Charles, to other racists who want to shout evil racist words against black children? You can raise 600,000. Charles, this message right here is a scary, frightening message, but the message is being sent to us.
I don't disagree. And you notice how I sat here and listened to your diatribe without screaming over you? I just listened like an adult.
When I'm
But
hitting you
here's
with facts, it's
here's
kind of
No,
hard.
you don't ever hit with facts, right? Instead, what you're taking is this horrible incident, and it is a horrible incident. It's a disgusting incident. The people that gave her money are disgusting, but it's not a crime. Right? We don't want word police in this country. The First Amendment protects against it. We just want to recognize she's a deplorable human being. But you take this and you act like you weren't advocating for. So what was the message to white America when some kid pulled off a knife and killed him in a thing and everyone
I'll tell you the
rallied
message.
around? And you,
I'll tell you the
hold on.
message.
No, I'm talking.
You asked me a question.
I know. You asked me a
You asked
dozen
me a question.
questions, and I sit there and say, you just interrupt.
But you asked me a question.
Are you going to let me talk?
Go right
But the
ahead.
real, what you take this is you say, oh, this is a message to all black America that America is still worse than the 1960s because that's how you make money, and say, oh, we're all evil. See, I don't see this as a message to an individual race or an immutable characteristic, right? I don't see people supporting Carmelo Anthony as speaking for the black race. I think they speak for the people that seek to monetize racial grievance, you, and for the racists within the black community. I think here, this speaks to the racists in the white community. And I think all of the racists are disgusting people. And I think instead of speaking to brothers and sisters, which when you say that, you mean only black people. We've had this discussion before, right? And I think we should be speaking to everybody and maybe should say, hey, let's stop judging people
not
based
working,
on the
Charles.
color of their skin.
That's not
No,
working.
it was working
Dr.
until
King,
people like
Dr.
you
King
figured out
spoke
you
those
could
same
make
words.
millions of dollars
Dr.
a year
King spoke those same
selling
words.
racial grievance.
Dr. King spoke those same
Interrupted me
words
again.
and was assassinated. Frederick Douglass spoke those same words and was never respected. Charles, we have had leader after leader after
Frederick
leader.
Douglass was never respected.
No, he wasn't.
Why do you just
he
make
wasn't.
stuff up?
Frederick Douglass, if he was so respected, they would have listened to him and did exactly what he said when he spoke about land ownership for black people and how to repair the damage that slavery did.
so
Charles,
you're saying
we have had
that he
leader
didn't get his
after
way.
leader after leader
Okay.
speak to America with some of the most loving voices, kind voices that are not revolutionary, that are not radical. Those voices, Charles, failed to change the core of this nation. Charles, my biggest concern is
So when America
this
elected
message,
Barack Obama,
this message
when
that is
America
being sent,
is electing
Charles.
African Americans not only to the top office, the executive,
But
all
who
the
elected
way
Barack
down.
Obama?
Okay.
We didn't choose Barack Obama.
Oh,
Barack Obama
so
was
we-
Barack
you had a
Obama.
meeting,
Barack
you had a
Obama
black
was
person
selected.
meeting.
No, he was selected before he was elected. Remember that.
Okay.
Barack Obama was selected before he was
you know
elected,
that's for all
and in that
presidents?
room, with no black folks.
Okay.
When they told him to run, and promised him financial backing to run, no black people in that room.
Hendricks is a scumbag.
Hey, besties.
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time.
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late-night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
Listen to everything. After they waded through the mud and the murky waters turned up by a less than perfect investigation, they came back with criminally negligent homicide. Now the state, they started out hard, swinging and crying murder. They wanted everyone to believe that my client, this young man, Kason Allison, was a cold-blooded murderer. But that's not the verdict you heard today. The jury looked at the evidence. They looked at all of the evidence, or rather, they looked at the lack of all of the evidence. The vital pieces that were ignored or mishandled, and they said no, not murder. They didn't even say manslaughter.
In this round, here's Charles Big Angry Adams.
So, Quanell, this is an update of a case where a white student with probably the whitest sounding name I've ever heard, Kason Allison, stabbed a Hispanic or Latin student, Joe Ramirez, in the bathroom of their high school in a small town, Belton, Texas. The stab wound, different, as we were just talking about Carmelo Anthony, which was a single stab to the heart. The description that I read sounds like that Kason stabbed Joe all over his body, right? A great number of stab wounds that ultimately took his life. He was pushing a similar self-defense against an unarmed person argument. Now, there was video out there of Joe punching him, something that has not been alleged, and what we have alleged in Carmelo Anthony was a shove, but he was ultimately found guilty. They rejected the self-defense, but then found him guilty of the state jail felony offense of criminally negligent homicide, which means the maximum he could do is 2 years in a state jail facility, which is kind of in between a county facility and TDC, real prison, or he could actually serve his time in a county facility up to a year in jail.
If he gets any time at all.
Yeah, if he gets any time at all. They did reject the self-defense, but they found him of the lowest possible lesser included, right? Which you as a defense attorney, you can ask for an instruction on murder.
And it's up to the judge to grant that instruction.
Right, but the law favors the defendant's right to have the lesser includeds on the jury charge. Now, while I disagree with this outcome, because I personally think Casey Allison, if you look at the totality of evidence, statements he made beforehand.
Saying he wanted to kill him.
Right.
Desired to kill him. Was planning to kill him.
I think it's a disgusting outcome. I think the state did a bad job prosecuting the case. I didn't like the gleeful smirk of the female attorney there.
Because I understand it. You don't understand it.
Why don't I understand
She's sitting there smiling for a reason.
Well, because she's
and
a lawyer
listen to
and
the
she
words
won.
of that criminal defense attorney. He's bragging in his own dog whistle call way. Let me tell you what this says. I said in this chair.
Well, he won a trial.
I said in this chair before this trial started when we talked about this case, and I told you they will not find him guilty of murder.
No, you said they wouldn't find him guilty.
I told you. I said he will not be found guilty of murder. I said at best, and I was wrong here. I said maybe manslaughter, but they went less than manslaughter. Brothers and sisters, I'm saying it over and over again. They are sending a message to us in America now. This boy bragged about wanting to kill this kid. He talked in social media posts and texts wanting to kill this kid. Took a knife to school and stabbed this boy multiple times. And an all-white jury, you left that part out. An all-white jury said, no, he didn't kill nobody. It was not that. That's not murder. It's not murder. They said it's not murder. It's guilty of the lower lesser included charge. The judge didn't even remand him into custody after he was found guilty of something because the judge don't plan to give him a single day in jail. And now this is one of the reasons why, with all this evidence that showed this boy planned to kill him, planned it. This is the reason why black people are so angry in this country, because it ain't no way in the hell that a young black man could have all that evidence against him like Casey Allison has and got away with murder like this.
Hold on. You don't think there are cases in America, and maybe because you just don't pay attention,
and where's the white outrage about this guy? All the white folks who making posts about, oh, he brought a knife to a school event. Oh, he brought all these white folks. You're still a murderer. You brought a knife. Well, where's all the white folks now? All the white folks talk about Carmelo Anthony bringing a knife. Hell, he brought one and planned to bring one. No, you're an individual. I'm talking about them tens of thousands of white folks, them hundreds of thousands of white folks in this country who condemn Carmelo Anthony as a cold-blooded scumbag killer like you called him because he defended himself. Well, I tell you what.
And so is Casey Allison.
This man here, at all-white jury, spoke. And they sent the same message that they always do.
So that they always
That they always do.
So when black people,
we gotta listen.
When there's an overwhelming
black
amount
folk
of
got to
evidence of a black person committing a violent crime
against a white person, we don't get off. We don't get off.
Oh, hey, hold on.
We don't get off.
OJ got off.
Say what?
OJ got off.
Because of what?
Because he's a murderer.
No, because it was planted evidence. Mark Furman, the racist, no good, bigot detective who said the only good was a dead and then lied about it. They saw police corruption. They saw police corruption and said not guilty.
I don't think the OJ verdict speaks about black America holistically, and I don't think this
because black folks have watched thousands of white people get off for killing black people for generations.
Again, not true. Okay.
Black folks have watched white folks kill black people and get off for generations. Cops kill us in cold blood, they walk away. No punishments. So we finally got somebody locked up in the last 5 years.
Black people kill a lot more cops than cops kill black people. And a lot of those cops are also black. But it's
black folks are not Ray Charles. We're not Stevie Wonder. We know what this message says. We know what this verdict says. We know what this verdict says. The same way that white girl raised 600,000.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time.
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
That's it for the Face Off on Fox Soul. We'll catch you next time.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
Well, on Fox Face Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And neighborhoods come up.
You interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Hey, besties!
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time!
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
It's time for today's face-off on Fox Soul. Challengers Quan LX and Big Angry Adams, ready to go blow by blow on those hot topics. Face-off on Fox Soul starts right now.
Universities across this country are in plain and direct violation of the Supreme Court's ruling that affirmative action, as in racial quotas and set-asides, are illegal. Students must be admitted to universities on a color-blind basis. But we have demonstrated through clear evidence that our university system, including our medical schools, and perhaps particularly our medical schools, are engaging in race-based discrimination, racial set-asides, racial quota schemes, and other efforts to evade the Supreme Court's ruling, and again, the plain text of federal statute.
In this round, here's Charles Big Angry Adams.
That was Stephen Miller, the policy architect of the Trump administration for an array of topics, but specifically immigration and diversity, equity, inclusion, especially in higher education. He continued those comments. He directly attacked Harvard Medical School. Obviously, I went to I went to the law school, but it was very telling. And I think it goes to the heart of what I see as the bigotry that is built in to the Democratic Party that, of course, I will gladly recognize while the Republicans want to end it, they don't want to address any of the underlying problems. What he's talking about is the incredible bias that has been evidenced against Asian and Caucasian applicants at Ivy League schools, at other top-tier educational facilities. We've seen it, and the Supreme Court has come out and said, hey, no, you can't do this. I experienced this as an interviewer for Harvard College for years, right? They would tell you, these are the kind of candidates we're looking for. If these candidates check these boxes of immutable characteristics, they can have much lower scores. They can have much lower grades. We want these students at the detriment of high achieving. So we hear stories about kids that have perfect SATs, perfect grades, and not getting into any of their top choice schools. Why? Because the racism has been flipped based on this nonsense that disparate outcomes suggest that African Americans can't do as well. And that's a grand lie, because obviously skin color does not in any way define intellect or competency at all. The truth is that we are failing Black America, that our country is failing to properly educate Black America, that many broken homes, what are we, 70% of Black children are raised in broken homes right now. It's absolutely obscene. And no one's saying, hey, there are root issues that we need to address so people can be successful. They do away with testing, which they've now restored at Harvard. It's going back in. Why? Because you've let in students that aren't capable of performing at a rudimentary level in a campus that is supposed to be the elite of elite. A few years ago, when MIT said, yeah, we've got to go back to taking the SAT and the ACT, they were vilified by other schools who want to put race first and everything else second. And while I disagree with a lot of Stephen Miller, he hit the nail on the head here.
Mr. Stephen Miller, who I believe is Jewish, a proud member of the Jewish community.
What does that have to do with anything?
Let me finish.
Okay.
A proud member of the Jewish community would be more sympathetic and empathetic with the Black plight and Black struggle when it comes to academic achievement and excellence in this nation, after coming from a very people who have suffered some of the same similar situations and discriminatory practices as Black people. You would think that he would understand, looking at the history of his people and ours in America, working together to help Black people in this country have greater chances for achievement. Now let's get to this point. Affirmative action in America, that's what this really is about. DEI and racial quotas and racial set-asides, it's really about affirmative action. And what was passed on the civil rights legislation here in America by Lyndon Baines Johnson. What Black people cannot get caught up in is that the #1 benefactors of affirmative action at every level have not been black people. And why would we as black people allow any white man or white person in this country to talk like Stephen Miller or talk like you are talking when it's not the racial quotas, it's not DEI that we should fight for, it's none of that. If we just fight for reparations, what's truly owed to black people, you can keep Harvard University. Since we're talking about Harvard University, do some research into Jan Metzenlinger. They took a black man's invention and took his money when they sold it and financed the inception and establishment of Harvard University. So why don't we do what Dr. Carter G. Woodson said, the founder of Black History, in his book, Miseducation of the Negro? He said that Harvard ruined more good Negroes than bad whiskey. Let them have their damn schools. But if you pay us reparations, we can then truly build and establish great academic excellence, great academic achievement, because most HBCUs in America were purposely underfunded by the very white folk who don't want us going to their white prestigious schools of higher learning. Keep it. But if you pay us reparations, then we can build our own academic institutions and make them schools that the world will marvel at the great academic achievement and accomplishments of our children. To hell with DEI, to hell with racial set-asides and quotas, because when you do that, minorities include now Hispanics, Arabs, Indians, women, and other categories are being put into it now. Black folks were never the great benefactors of affirmative action. We fought, bled, and died for it, but we were tricked into believing that something special was being given for us. To hell with that, man. If Mr. Miller, who can't sympathize with black people and try to bring up race and try to point out as though we're benefiting in such a way, he's playing a con game using dog whistle language and words to try to make it appear that he's speaking about black people taking away from white kids academic opportunities. To hell with that. Pay us reparations. You pay reparations what America owes, you can keep your damn schools.
You know, what I love the most about you is your refusal to talk about the subject of hand when you don't have an answer for it. What we've seen over the last 15 years is an incredible discrimination against Asian and white applicants at all colleges, but most especially at the most elite, right? Where you now, every Ivy League school is majority minority classes, right? And that's not possible if you just look at the racial statistics of this country. But then if you go further and look at the performance differences, then it's absolutely exclusionary, which of course was established at the Supreme Court. But what you want to talk about is everything but. Right now, we need to address fundamental fairness. And when you start making up some, African Americans have not benefited at all from affirmative action, that's just an example
on
of
a
you
mass
lying.
level,
hey, remember,
we did not. On a mass level, we did not. A few selected, politically connected Negroes benefited, but the masses of black folks did not benefit from affirmative action when it was the masses of black folks who suffered to bring it into existence, Charles.
Thank you for interrupting, but you brought up the fact that Mr. Miller, who I'm not a fan of, right? But you brought up the fact that he's Jewish, right?
Yes,
The truth
I
is
did.
that 80 years ago, this isn't like 80 years ago, half of the Jewish people on this planet were exterminated by the Third Reich. Half of them, right? They came, we had hordes of them migrate to this country, right, with nothing. Everything was stolen from them. And they are the most financially successful, immutable character, like ethnic group in this country. And more importantly, they are the most educated. Who's after them? Nigerians. Right? Who also came here in the same manner.
But
they
now
let
me correct
and
you.
What you're wanting to
Nigerians were left in their own country. They were never robbed of a knowledge of themselves. They were never robbed of the right to have a husband in the home. They were never robbed and had their children sold on auction blocks. They were never gouged eyes out if they were caught reading. A black man and woman in America for 400 years if we were caught reading, we were hung. Nigerians never suffered that. Now you want to bring up how the Jews suffered in Nazi Germany and in Europe. Yes, they suffered. What Hitler did was evil. But I'm talking about the suffering of black people in America, not no damn Europe, right here. Now let me finish. No.
Oh, you were going to interrupt me when
now,
you want.
According to white historians, over 90 million black people died in the transatlantic slave trade from Africa to America.
Horrible.
90 million.
Okay, horrible.
So now, where's your tears for us?
Oh, you don't
where's
think
your passion to talk about us?
You don't think I think the institution
the
of
hell you
slavery
mean something in
America
Europe like you
is
gonna ignore
worst?
the black
But what we
Holocaust
had-
right here in America?
What we have in this world, right? We like to pretend that it was just the Western world. In fact, the Western world was the first part of the planet to outlaw slavery, right? You think like, oh, Asia, Korea had slavery for 1,500 years. The longest unbroken streak. Slavery,
America never outlawed slavery.
Where does slavery exist in the world
America
right
never
now?
outlawed slavery.
The Middle East and Africa.
Right here in America.
Right? No, it does
when
not
you
exist
read
in
the
America.
13th Amendment,
Oh, come on.
the 13th Amendment breaks down that slavery can still exist in America when one has been convicted of a crime and sentenced to a prison. And what they did, they took the plantation from one part and put it in prison plantations.
Okay, so
and so
point,
now slavery never ended. That same free labor is an American penal institutions where slavery can exist.
At what point do Asian kids and white kids not have to be discriminated against incredibly? The numbers are insane.
I'll give you the
right?
point.
I'll
give you the point.
I'll give you the point. Born
I'll
in
give you the point.
2005
I'll give you the
not
point.
Have to suffer
when you pay us
for
reparations.
Oh, okay.
When you pay us
So
reparations.
we should,
because
those of us,
every race that came from another country into America, the Asian community, they set up their businesses in our community. We patronize them. We help financially build them. Every ethnic group that came from somewhere else set up shop in the black community, and we helped them. We befriended them. We gave them our resources. When are they going to do for us what we've done for everybody else?
Fled to this country in the 1970s, and built holistic, robust communities, families helping families.
And their businesses were set up in the black community.
Well, because they all pulled their money together and did it.
because we did not see color.
At what point?
We gave everybody an opportunity.
You did not see color.
Black folk
the
gave
only
everybody
people
an
allowed
opportunity.
to see color
Charles.
now are African
That is an
Americans.
absolute lie,
Just
Charles.
look at Instagram.
America
right?
was
Where you can
built
say
off
every
color.
pejorative you want
America was
about
built
me,
off color.
but you get thrown
Charles,
off if anyone says
let me
it
tell
about
you
your
something,
fragile,
Charles.
delicate,
Bottom
little
line is, my man,
My man.
black people pay us reparations, so y'all can have all that.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Well, on Fox Face-Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face-Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And
Shut the
neighborhoods
hell
come
up
up. You
and
interrupt
let
me
me
all
speak
the
to my
time.
people.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face-Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Hey, besties.
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time.
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
Like it's a spiritual moment.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Kehlani finally responds to Cornell University's cancellation. So if you didn't know, Cornell University invited Kehlani to be the headliner, but the craziest part about this is the president rescinded that invitation. According to the New York Times, Michael Kodakoff, which is the university's president, sent out an email to all faculty and students announcing that Kehlani would no longer be performing, stating in the email, and I quote, "The selection of Kehlani as this year's headliner has injected division and discord." It then goes on to say that many are hurt and confused that Slope Day would include a performer like Kehlani, who has espoused anti-Semitic and anti-Israel sentiment. And this is when Kehlani responds.
As I sit here and I'm working on my album, and I just so happen to be in the presence of my Jewish and Palestinian best friend and my Jewish engineer, that I am not anti-Semitic nor anti-Jew. I am anti-genocide. I am anti the actions of the Israeli government. I am anti an extermination of an entire people.
So my question to you is, do you think this was an appropriate response? Or do you think the university's president was being a little too sensitive?
In this round, here's Cornell X.
Charles, the video we just watched was about Cornell University rescinding an invitation to a beautiful, talented musical artist, Kehlani. I hope I'm saying her name correctly, but
you are.
She is a very beautiful young woman, very talented. And because they feel that a student group on campus felt that she was anti-Semitic in her support of a ceasefire and ending the war in Palestine between Hamas and the IDF, that she is so anti-Semitic, she should not be allowed to even perform at a concert performance at Cornell University. And it has had some backlash. She even came on as we watched to clarify her position that she's not anti-Semitic. But unfortunately, it appears to me as though, and the same stigma has been placed on many good people. If you oppose the war in Israel and Palestine and you're just calling for a ceasefire, you're being labeled as anti-Semitic. No, you're anti-death and destruction. You're anti-killing. You want the killing to stop on both sides. To call her anti-Semitic and all they can point to is what I believe that I've seen so far. I don't see where she was saying something so egregious to where she should have been disinvited. This is censorship that robs her of the ability to make a living.
Okay, so we're talking about Oakland artist Kehlani, right? Now let's begin with how she presented her defense of herself, right? Could you imagine if someone called me a racist, right? So I got on Instagram and had like Bun B and Zero standing behind me and said, oh, you're calling me, I can't be a racist. I got this black friend. I got this black friend. That's what a racist would say, right? This is someone that called for infantada, right? She called for a destruction, right? And then to pretend, right? And even in her apology, I am anti the actions of the Israeli government. I'm anti-extermination of an entire people. I'm anti the bombing of innocent children, men and women. That's what I'm anti. She didn't mention if she was anti-October 7th. And this whole thing about Israel somehow exterminating people, right? Of course, the number of Palestinians that has actually, when you're committing genocide, the numbers dwindle. Like during the Holocaust, half the Jews were murdered, right? None of that's happened in Israel, right? And we have this nonsense where you can say all of this horrible stuff and not have a consequence. And then to speak to Cornell,
60,000 people dead in 1 year.
Hey,
60,000 dead in 1 year. You're going to tell me that's not genocide?
But I will say that a lot of those numbers are incredibly inflated.
But don't say that. But don't say that. You know why?
It's true.
Because those who are anti-Semitic and those who are white supremacists always say that the 6 million number of Jews who died is inflated.
No.
Let's not get involved in that game.
At the numbers. No,
but
Hamas
Charles,
is evil. Hamas started a war.
What they did was very evil. What they did was very evil.
You can say
and
that
they
now.
did start that
she
war,
said
Charles.
Infantada.
But Charles,
that's a celebration
she is not
of
wrong.
Women
No,
being
you're
raped,
wrong. You're
of
wrong.
Children being
That's
murdered,
not true.
of people,
That's a lie.
You don't even
that's
believe.
A lie.
You think Israel
that
did.
intifada that she called for, that you say she called.
What's the
translation
of infantada?
First, when you talk about that infantada, okay?
Okay. Let's talk
no
about
one
river
individual
to the
can
sea
call
and
that.
murder.
No individual can call that. Only God can call that.
Oh, okay.
And so what you're doing, you're putting a word in her mouth that she has no power to even do that, brother.
But she still
and in
said
fact,
it.
Charles, let me say this to you, man. It doesn't matter what side you fall on with the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Too many kids have been murdered
it's
and
horrible.
died.
It's
it
horrible.
has to stop.
I wish Hamas
it
would
has to
stop
stop,
using
Charles.
Gazans as human
Charles,
shields.
listen to me. Hamas hasn't been going over into Israel killing 20, 30, 40, 50, hundreds
of
of
just went
Israelis
and
since
raped
the war
and
started.
butchered a bunch
Since
of
the
people,
war started.
and then used their own
Charles,
Gazans
hold on,
to
Charles.
shoot rockets
Hold on, Charles.
and then hide behind children because they're monsters.
Charles,
and we got to stop pretending monsters aren't monsters.
I just watched a video where 2 Israeli soldiers said they cannot sleep at night, testifying before a Blue Ribbon Commission. They cannot sleep at night because of the crimes they committed against human beings that were unjust and unlawful when they were in Palestine. I just watched an Israeli soldier, a female, admitted how her and a group of Israeli IDF soldiers raped a Palestinian man that they were interrogating. Charles, you can Google it. You can Google it.
Okay.
You can
well,
Google
why
it.
didn't you
You
bring
can
it
Google
and give it to Matt to play on
Charles,
the show?
I did.
You're just
no,
making
you're
stuff
wrong.
up.
I did. If Matt go back and search, I sent those videos to him. But what we cannot do is go tit for tat.
Oh,
the
yes,
killing
we can.
has to stop.
Well, who started the
Charles,
killing? Who started it?
Let me say this to you.
Who started it?
So should we as black people in America say that we should
I
kill
didn't know
white people in the country?
am I-
Since white folks started the killing against black people in this country,
actually-
should we continue
Hey, hold
fighting
on.
and killing black people in this country?
Hold on. You love to trot
Because
this
white
out.
people started
Who
killing blacks in America first.
Who kills black Americans?
Black Americans kill black Americans the most in this country.
Who
And
kills
overwhelmingly,
white Americans?
your mass killings in
Who
America
kills-
are white
how-
men.
how-
Overwhelmingly,
That's not
most
true.
of those white
That's
men
not
who
true.
commit these mass
I
murders
love how you
are
push
white
this
men
lie.
who are connected to white supremacist theology.
I love how you
so
like
Charles,
to make this up.
the killing
We
has
have
to
a
stop.
murder problem
The
in this
Palestinian
country, and the
killing has to stop. Babies and children are being murdered. It needs to stop.
Sure,
Any
I
decent
agree.
human
I
being
agree.
understands that. Charles, there's hundreds of thousands of Israelis protesting in Israel right
why
now,
are we not-
demanding an end to the war. Are they wrong?
Well, then why
are
was
they anti-Semitic?
Why was Kehlani calling for infantada, right, instead of calling for peace? And why, when everyone said, when all the Israelis like, we need a 2-state solution, we need to get this figured out, why is Gaza's response to the river, to the sea? Why all these idiot
That was
children?
not Gaza's
that
response.
Was absolutely, they've turned it
That
down
was Hamas.
for 40 years.
That was Hamas's
And that's their
response.
elected,
That was not
overwhelmingly
Gaza's
supported
response.
leaders.
But wait a minute.
When you
if
elect
that's their
and embrace
elected
terrorism-
leadership, that's like saying everybody in America, Trump is our elected leader.
He is.
Elected by those who supported him.
Right.
Elected by those who voted for him. But the half of this country don't support him. So should we say that all Palestinians support Hamas? Hell no,
it's
they
like
don't,
85,
Charles.
90%.
Charles,
And
that's
when
a damn lie
and
what
when-
you're saying,
and when
Charles.
The people who don't support it say they don't support it, Hamas kills
Charles,
them.
you're
because they're
wrong.
monsters.
There was just
And
a
all
protest
these
march
idiot
last week.
children
There was a
running
march
around
in Palestine
Ivy
last
League
week.
schools,
Over
terrorizing
75,000
Jewish
Palestinians held a protest march demanding that Hamas be removed. 75,000 just last week. Charles, do you realize that before this war took place, there was tens of thousands of Israelis marching against Benjamin
Why aren't we
Netanyahu
talking
and his
about
government wanting to
Kehlani?
stop the corruption within
Because
that government?
ultimately-
Both governments' hands are not clean in
let's
this.
return-
But the babies must stop dying,
let's
Charles.
return to the subject at hand. Now, here's the thing. I absolutely think it's absurd that because Cornell is so concerned about the consequences from the Trump administration, that they have limited free speech and told her she can't perform. But I also think it's absurd that Cornell has allowed Jewish students to be terrorized, bullied, threatened, and just made where they are felt unwelcome, not just by other students, but staff at
But
Cornell.
this is a slippery slope.
So it's not a slide.
All right, so what happens when a student group now says, okay, somebody's coming to perform, and there's another student group on campus
Well,
say,
it's been happening
oh,
for years.
we're offended by this performer.
It's been happening
so
for years.
Charles, when does it stop?
I agree.
When does
I
it stop,
think she
Charles?
should be able to perform. I believe in free speech.
Because this level of
but-
censorship is robbing people of the
but-
ability to make a living,
but it's
Charles.
been the left.
And this country is freedom of speech, allegedly.
It's been the woke left that has embraced censorship. When remember, I grew up a liberal. Right? I consider myself a centrist. I despise the Republican Party. But Democrats have abandoned the working class and they have abandoned liberalism. It's illiberal
the
nonsense.
Democratic Party
They have been canceling
abandoned
people,
black folks
and now
way before they ever
Trump
abandoned you.
is making them
They
cancel
abandoned
back.
us way before they abandoned you. They abandoned us for generations. So, welcome to the club.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Welcome to the club.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and the Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Well, on Fox Face-Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face-Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And shut the hell up.
You interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face-Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul. That's it for the Face-Off on Fox Soul. We'll catch you next time.
Hey, besties!
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time!
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
Like it's a spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal. love, you're mine.
Well, on Fox Face Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face Off
We are given the platform here with no fear.
always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And shut the hell up.
You
and
interrupt
let
me all the
speak to my
time.
people.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
And welcome to The Factor Uncensored. Tonight we bring you a special edition. Whether you're swiping right or dusting off your old school charm, tonight's show will have something you can relate to at some point in time. We start off talking about dating at a slightly more mature age. We have our guest here, Miss Guillory, and we didn't start off with you, Miss, first intentionally. Lewis Hunter, Alfonso Kennard, and Johnny Gentry, and we're glad to have you all here on The Factor Uncensored. So the question is dating fine like wine and getting better with time, or is it hard out there when you're looking for love at y'all ages, at the dusty age
hard.
you guys are?
Let's just start with